This is a collective reading offered with the intention of being a source of validation and confirmation for those who need it. Use your discernment. We have animals here, so you guys are going to hear the dog playing with his toy, the cat meowing. I just get this sense that there's an effort to conceal or distort how you're showing up somewhere. I just get this vibe that you offer something, say something, show up in a way that is intended and coming from a place of love and is intended for love. And it's skewed by a group of people, by family, by another person, to the point where you're actually questioning yourself. You know, was I being messy? Was I wrong in this? The Spirit is not in the business of releasing you of accountability and responsibility. That's not what this reading is for. Online as well, somebody watching this, you shared some kind of truth, and you didn't do so with the intention of hurting somebody or getting some kind of revenge. You did it with the intention of offering an opportunity to be understood. It almost feels like you let your guard down. You let your guard down to share something, to connect with someone, to I almost see it as an olive branch. Spirit wants you to be proud of this. Spirit wants you to feel pride in yourself for this. To see it as growth, rather than, I'm hearing, wallowing away within yourself. There's no shame in you trying to make a connection. We're here to make connections, right? We're not here to be alone, right? There are periods of time where we have to go into isolation in order to make sense of who we are, what we're here for. However, we're meant to come into union, and we're meant to connect with others. And it kind of feels like you're being told, someone here in love has really put it all out on the table, and it feels like you were rejected, and Spirit is saying that this situation wasn't a waste. It set out a frequency, a signal to the in the universe and to the universe that you are ready for this kind of intimacy and connection, true intimacy and connection. And Spirit is celebrating you, reveling in your accomplishment here. And this reading serves as a validation and a confirmation for you. You did what you needed to do. You did what you needed to do in order to have what you wanted. Celebrate in that. Even though it stings right now, because I can feel that. It stings right now. You're hurting. It's bringing you back to a very old place, an old place of rejection, of not being received. And Spirit is saying, you know, you're going to get stronger. It's going to feel better. Some of you may even feel unjustly attacked or targeted, or it almost feels like, you know, were you thrust aside or pushed aside because of your beliefs or because of how you show up in the world, who you are, your gifts? Were you treated like you were a freak kind of vibe by somebody who then brought up an old story for you to work through? Be grateful. This old story for you to work through is making you stronger, and it's setting you up. You're this much closer, and this is a lot. This being a lot much closer to what you're really wanting. You can't get any better than that. The Nine of Cups is a God card, and it's a Dharma card, and it's a card of you working through some karmic stuff in order for you to make yourself available to the kind of Dharma that is associated with what you're wanting. And so many of you are, your Spirit is saying that you say you want success. You say you want achievement, abundance, but what you're really yearning for is deep connection. From the 9 to the 10 of Cups, and then the Hierophant in the reverse. Some people are not here for you to teach. Like, sometimes the lesson is for you, and if they choose to refuse the lesson, they choose to refuse it. But there's a part of you that's assigning your worth to not being received, and even though you're rejected, you're feeling like you failed because something that you wanted to land didn't land. And that's not on you. You're only the messenger. And if the message is being rejected and the message is being pushed aside, that is not a reflection of your worth. You took a brave step. Something that I'm getting you wouldn't have been able to really, really do the way you did it in the past. Something that you wouldn't have been able to have done in the past in the nature and way that you did it now. We know it's hard for you to really be grounded in your growth and really seeing how far you've come, but you've come truly far. You know, it'd be easy for you to dismiss relationships and kind of sink into yourself and disregard opportunities to connect with people, because every person is a wild card. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what they're going to choose, if they're going to reject you, push you away, abuse you, shoot the messenger, right? And that's not to say that we show up in everybody's lives as a messenger, but we also cannot disregard who we are. And those of you that are drawn to me, if you're seeing this, you are a messenger in many ways. You're a messenger to humanity. You're a messenger to those you love. You're here as a response. You are literally incarnated as a response. Those are the souls that gravitate towards me. It's been proven time and time again. And therefore, your worth as a messenger in this life is not reflective of how this person didn't see you. To kind of see like this person needs to see you in a certain light in order for them to be okay with the reality they choose to assign themselves to. So they need to paint a picture of you. I also see, like, even aside from romantic, I'm feeling friendship stories. I'm feeling all kinds of different family stories. But I'm getting the sense of like where, you know, a genuine maverick is being painted as like a cult leader, right? You're being painted in a very distorted lens and scope. And Spirit is saying, you know, that's for the birds. Leave that be. You did what you needed to do. And it's remarkable that you were able to even do this again, that you were even open, that your heart was open to this. It means you're available on the market. It's okay. Let them lie. I really get the sense of like that's not how that happened. And come on, man. Like, you know, Spirit is saying, let them lie. You know, you're over here working towards something. You know, and this is not something that you need to weigh you down or distract you. I'm not quite sure how this happened, but I don't intend to read these cards in reverse. It's not the kind of vibe that I'm feeling for this reading. And somehow they were shuffled in reverse. Yeah, there's something about like, it can be very disorienting when all of the stories about the experiences that you go through, about what happens in your life, are filtered through the perspective and the lens of those who really don't have, I'm hearing the dexterity to be able to really give you a perception of it. But it's like people are trying to frame all these experiences in your life and re-narrate you to you. And Spirit is saying something about the astrological transits and where we are right now and the opportunities that are afforded to you and what you're about to step into, that people are they're like salivating at the mouth for you to believe something different, right? And so they're working overtime. And so you might, you know, be here questioning yourself, like, am I crazy? Is it this or is it that? Or am I wrong? Or what is it? Like, you know, Spirit is saying this is normal, but you're working towards something. And this wouldn't be happening if you weren't. If you weren't showing up as the authentic, bright version of yourself. I know you're flawed and imperfect and you still deal with things in ways that you sabotage yourself. However, you are piercing through reality in a way that you can't even get in the way of. Meaning your authentic, true, potent self is piercing through the nonsense in a way that feels threatening to people. So of course they're going to sit here and talk shit and be nasty and even if they want to come in with the guise of love and wanting to, you know, give you a little dose of the truth of, you know, take you down a notch. That's what I'm feeling. Take you down a notch, you know, make you remember who the fuck you really are. You know, but in essence, what they're really doing is they're ushering you more inwards, and they're giving you an instigated response that allows you to strengthen your resolve, right? They're creating a response in you that actually is fortifying you further. And so, gratitude. Thank you for making me stronger. You know, when I come across wonky frequencies, energies, entities, some of the best ways to handle that is like, thank you so much for making me stronger. Thank you so much for showing me my weak point. Thank you for pushing me into Christ-like frequencies and energies. And yeah, thank you so much. Right? When you get into that energy, that gratitude, right? Especially when it comes to like family members and people who don't see you, continuing the narrative of the story of being rejected and unreceived and unloved. And, the world keeps showing you examples of the same shit of you not being loved and received and given what you deserve. When you kind of shift that perspective into gratitude for these things being catalysts for you to step into your sage-like life and frequency and your empowered creation, life is yours. And so you're working towards something. Take everything that's happening as of current to be a validation of that. And just because you invested your time and energy and your true authentic self to someone or something or a group of someones or some things that have been rejecting you or pushing you away or not receiving you, that's not for naught. You're making your signal stronger to the universe that you're ready to be received in this way, that you're ready, regardless of all of the pain that you've been through, regardless of how many times you've been burned, you're still wanting to dance around the fire. And so a fire that is made for you is being forged as we speak. Keep it up.